Yep, I'm on my cool J, and thank you for tuning in to my podcast. I'm gonna get the name of this pretty soon. Like, just hold on. I know everybody might have thought it's on my cool J, but that's just my name. Now, I'm kind of mulling around with Ill Considered. Not getting that many great reviews of it, but just keeping y'all in check. Now, if you looked at the thumbnail, then you know what this podcast episode is going to be about. And if you didn't, well, it's about rape culture. Now, this has been a hot topic for about a week or two now. But I listened to the Brilliant Idiots with Charlamagne the God and Andrew Schultz, and they've kind of been talking about this for 2 years, which means they've enlightened me to the subject for about 2 years. And when people hear rape culture, they kind of put their guards up. They don't know what's going on, because I know when I heard the term rape culture, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? What is rape culture? And when somebody really broke it down to me, it just let me know that I've been exposed to rape culture. I've taken part, not really taken part, but an associate of rape culture, and just trying to enlighten some of my new listeners, following listeners, old listeners, anybody that's listening. But yeah. Now, if you're asking, what is rape culture? Hold up, I'm not the best reader in the world, so just bear with me. Rape culture is a sociological concept used to describe a setting in which rape is pressured or normalized due to society's attitude about gender and sexuality. Jesus Christ, I just felt like I read that really horribly. Now, that's what it means. It's the normalization of shit that shouldn't be normalized. Like, we're gonna get into that. Just don't worry about it. But quick Snapple fact: did you know women's rights were established in 1920, and rape wasn't considered a crime until 1930? Not gonna lie, that's pretty fucked up if that's true. I read that on Google, so if it's on the internet, it must be true. But if it is true, and it took a whole extra 10 years later to fucking recognize rape as a fucking crime, then the men around that times were some real pieces of shit, right? Now, when I think about it, it took women to the 1920s to get their fucking rights. We've been around. America's been well established and colonized way longer than the 1920s. So that just lets you know, like, the mind state of how things were going. And it just made me, like, it really opened my mind. I always hear this conversation, but I never really, like, paid attention. It wasn't until Daniel Tosh, like, said it in a joke. But women are, like, second-class citizens. And in some parts of the world, I'm biting Tasha's style right now. Tosh was like, in America, you're second-class citizens, right? But overseas, it's men, dog, other shit, and then women. So that's just a wild concept to think about. Just let that sink in. Now, if you don't believe that's so true, look at the women in the workforce. In high-placed positions like politics or like Fortune 500 companies, that's a fucking boys club. And if there's a girl there, there's like wild shit being said about that girl. Like, she probably slept her way to the top. You know the way the game goes. A lot of girls partake in that. A lot of men partake in that bullshit too. And they don't like to just leave it on the merit that person just really got there on their own wit and fucking... what was that line? I forgot that line. They basically got there on their own fucking just dudes. They worked their way up. True grit. And it just gets blemished with bullshit. Like, if a girl works her way all the way to the top, they'll say that, oh, she probably fucked her way to the top. And that's not always the case there. I feel like I'm kind of dragging this out, so let me keep it moving. Now, for this podcast, I was supposed to drop this 2 weeks ago when this topic came out, and I've been trying to get people to join me in this conversation. I wasn't going to say debate. It kind of sounded like I was going to say debate, but it's really a conversation, and a lot of people didn't feel up to it. A lot of people didn't feel comfortable talking about it or even acknowledging that rape culture is a real thing. Some people didn't even think that the things that I'm about to list were a part of rape culture. They just feel like it was natural, or that's just things that guys do, or that's just things that girls do, or that's just the way the world works. And sadly, it's not, or it shouldn't be. Now, how can I say this? You've been exposed to rape culture. If you're from the hood, like I'm from the hood, but that doesn't really mean anything, because a lot of people in high places that are from like rich areas have taken part of rape culture, have been exposed to rape culture. And then another thing that was mentioned, this shit has really been like a hot topic issue like recently, because of that whole Hollywood shit. And I must say that back then, like even when I was growing up, either we weren't listening, like bitches would be like, yo, this shit was happening, and we'd be like, yo, shut up, bitch, and we didn't care. Or women have just been like really like just fucking turning the other cheek to that shit. I guess till now, where it just got to the point where we're just like, nah, we're not gonna deal with that no more. We're just gonna handle this shit straight up. Now, I have some forms of rape culture, things like kind of like examples. Victim blaming. Victim blaming is a huge thing in rape culture. Like, I've watched Law and Order SVU, and there'll be some judges that'll be like, yo, so what was the victim wearing? Why did a victim allow themselves to be exposed in this situation? Why would they put themselves in that environment? And that's not necessarily the fucking I'm losing it right now. That's not necessarily the victim's fault, because like, why should you have to worry about this situation ever happening? Why can't you just dress the way you want to dress, be the way you want to dress, just fucking express yourself the way you want to be? It's fucking horrible. Another thing that's listed is catcalling. Now, this is a little bit iffy, because this new generation, this is gonna make me sound like I take part in this shit. This new generation is rather sensitive. Now, I've overheard this conversation where this guy said, yo, what's up, ma? Can I get your number? And she was like, yo, you're doing too much. You're giving off a rapey vibe. You need to get the fuck away from me. Well, who are you just to assume that I should give you my number? Why do you feel entitled? And I'm like, he asked. He didn't really like force you to give you his number. Now, this is a topic I would have loved to debate with somebody, but it just didn't happen. Now, catcalling is on this list because, you know, I'm from New York. You ever seen that video, 10 minutes as a woman in New York, and that chick just gets catcalled for like 20, I just said 10 minutes. Why would it be 20 minutes? That's me over exaggerating again. Now, no, it was 24 hours. I can't remember the name of the video. 5 hours? It was a fucking some amount of hours. It wouldn't be 20 minutes because that'll be a quick ass video. But yeah, this girl is just walking all over Manhattan and guys are catcalling her, telling, yo, what up, ma? You look good. Yo, why don't you show me what you're working with? Does fries come with that shake? That's a little bit of a violation right there. Y'all need to chill. And now that fries come with shake line, do those fries come with shake line? That's a little offensive because I've heard that shit. And I didn't know I was being sexually harassed, but you know, gay dudes is fucking straightforward nowadays. And that shit is type scary where I work. But that's just me getting a glimpse of that shit. Like, I feel uncomfortable when I hear that kind of shit. And it's like, can you get the fuck away from me? And it just makes me wonder with girls that hear that shit on a constant basis. Once a girl hits puberty, yo, it's a wrap. Once a girl starts developing, that's exactly when that shit starts. And in worst case scenarios, it's even younger for those pedophile motherfuckers. Now, catcalling, that's a part of rape culture. We were taught it was fine. We were given compliments. But when a woman doesn't receive the compliment, well, what's the first thing out of her mouth? Well, fuck you then, bitch. You ain't that cute anyway. Yeah, that's no good, my friend. What are you doing? Now, not receiving consent. This is another topic that I would love to talk about because consent has many levels to it, right? Like, consent can be... Now, I get regular consent. Yo, what's up? Can I dance with you? No? Alright, cool. Yo, what's up? You want a first date, right? Yo, what's up? Can I come in? That's basically me asking, can I fuck? Right? And now, if she says no, then that should be it. No is another tricky thing, man. Let me finish this consent shit. Now, it's like, where was I? Oh, man, I'm losing it again. Yeah, consent is a huge fucking thing. Like, a lot of guys watch a lot of these shows, or they read a lot of these fucking books where they get told, oh, you should be more assertive, and they try to blow past that no, bypass that no, and just put themselves in fucking horrible situations because it brings us back to self-fucking entitlement. Now, how far does consent go? Now, do you know, I just recently figured this out. I don't know why it took so long to figure this out, but that's be you again. You can't fuck your own wife, even though you're married to her, you took vows, you share half, she takes 60% of shit when you divorce. You can't force your wife to have fucking sexual relations with you if she doesn't want to. Like, that's a huge thing. Now, if she says no and you still try to fuck it, that's rape, homie. Like, that's like a huge thing that I've been talking about lately because of the Brilliant Idiots. Because that really is an eye opener. Because a lot of guys feel that, yo, that's my pussy, that's my wife. I should be able to get it when and however I want it. I shouldn't be able to have to beg for it because I already fucking would I say lease? Lease is a bad word to use for your wife, right? Because I can't say bought either. Because I already agreed to be with her for the rest of my life. That's even better. This is a nice saying. Yeah, consent. Where else does consent become tricky? Right? That 3 o'clock in the morning bump that your man gives you. That's a whole nother thing too. And that could go either way. Because if you nudge your girl at 3 o'clock in the morning, it ain't the fucking talk. It's just fuck. Right? Now, a lot of the times, girls don't even fucking dignify that with a response. Unless she does body movements and she moves her ass a little bit closer. But a lot of the times, guys just go for the kill. And just fair warning, she could turn that shit around you if she really didn't want to have sex. She could make that a whole thing. That could be emotionally damaging too. Like, you don't, unless you really, really had that conversation with your girl about her whole sexual history. Because there's a lot of girls, like, yo, rape culture is a real thing. Fucking rape, I forgot what the statistics were for rape, but it's pretty fucking high. I think, like, fucking 1 out of every 5 girls have been raped or have been associated with rape or have been on the verge or cusp of being raped. If those numbers are off, please don't fucking kill me. But, yeah, 1 in every 5 is wild. So there's a good chance. That's a sensitive, personal subject. So your girl might not even tell you she's been through some shit like that. And you're over here fucking being Genghis Khan and shit. Just trying to take the pussy like Pepe. That shit's no good either, bro. Now, another example is assuming her sexuality. Not necessarily if she likes guys or girls. More like, because she dresses like this, she has to fuck a lot. Because she dresses like a slut, she has to be a slut. Now, we all know that Dave Chappelle line where a girl has booty shorts and then a fucking tube top. Jesus Christ, that's really old. Do girls still wear tube tops? And then you just go fucking grind up on her. And she's like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Just because I dress like this doesn't mean I want to be treated like this. And then he flips it and he goes, that's like me wearing a police officer's uniform and your friend gets shot and you run up to me for help. And I'm like, hold up, bitch. Just because I dress like this doesn't mean I am this. It's fucking crazy, but it's true. Assuming her sexuality is a fucking horrible thing. Just because she dresses like a slut doesn't mean she actually is a slut. That's just what she's into. We also have terrible sentencing. Now, a lot of rapists, that's a huge no-no in jail. If you're going for jail, then you're going to get fucked up in jail. But there's a good chance you might not even go to jail if you have if you come from like a really well-off, high-end background. You might not even go to jail. Now, pay attention to this subject because I will be leading the colleges with this one. But yeah, they get terrible sentences half time. You rape a girl, she's scarred for life. For life. Same thing goes for kids that are fucking raped too. That's a fucking for life thing. They're always gonna remember it. They might adapt a little, but they'll never get over it. And the most these fucking assholes get a lot of the time is an 8 to 10 year bid. I feel that if you fucking do acts like that, you should be thrown under the fucking jail because you're basically ruining somebody's life. Now back to that money thing, right? I forgot what college this person was in, but he was a fucking swimmer. He found a girl intoxicated next to a dumpster. Instead of helping her and fucking getting her assistance, getting her somewhere safe, fucking even sending her to the hospital, this fucking dumbass decides, I'm gonna fuck her. And he does, leaves evidence, because he thinks this is what that college life is like. This is what he's kind of been exposed to. And he thinks it's totally fine. Who does? That's your moral compass being off. If you see somebody fucking outfit a count and then you still try to rape them, yo, you're a real piece of shit. And this piece of shit got off. He was supposed to get 6 months, but I don't even think he did the whole 6 months. Because whoever his lawyer was, that other bigger piece of shit, got him off on the case. And the excuse was he wouldn't adapt to jail well. He has his whole future in front of him, and jail isn't it. And the fucking judge co-signed off on that. Fucking wild. The shit you could do in this country. Alright, because we're on this subject still. Grabbing women is a part of rape culture too. Now, I gotta break this down a little. It's not always necessarily that Donald Trump shit, grab him by the pussy shit. Nah. When you see a girl walking by and you say, yo, what's up, ma? And she didn't hear you, and you grab her arm, my nigga, you are putting her in an awkward position. You are forcing yourself upon her. You are just wilding. There is no need for you to be forcing yourself upon somebody that doesn't want to have a conversation. Because if you do that to any random dude on the street, you will get fucked up 9 times out of 10. If I'm walking down the street and you say you're, and I don't acknowledge you, and you grab my arm, you're catching a fucking left hook right to your face. I know a lot of guys are like, nah, I'm just trying to be polite and get her attention. Nah, that's a whole fucking problem too. You just can't be asserting yourself like that. Now let's see, what else is on my list? Oh, because I want to stay up on that subject with this fucking idiot. Frat parties, right? A lot of these fraternities at high-end campuses, I think it was fucking, man, I'm doing horrible right now. Doesn't even matter. A lot of these fucking schools do this shit anyway. Places like that have high-end fraternities, like the betas, the megas, and whatever, they hide shit. They sweep shit under the rug. Like these frat parties that they throw, they basically had mad cases of rape where they hid under the rug, and a lot of the times it's from drugging. They like to drug women at these parties, fuck them, run a train on them, and then pretend like it never happened. And the schools are just don't want that bad reputation that they fucking sweep it under the rug. Now, how can you even like think like that? Like alcoholism, I've never been to the point where I've drank so much alcohol and I see a girl and I'm like, yo, I just gotta fuck the shit out of her without her consent. That's a wild way of thinking. Like, you're wildin'. Speaking of running of trains, if you're from the hood like I am, don't worry guys, I'm not gonna say no names, but when I was in middle school, that was like a huge thing. Now, we would go to these cut parties, and there would be like 20 guys and fucking 3 girls, right? Now, a lot of girls don't come to the party with the idea of 20 guys fucking. They just think they're there for the one guy, but that's not how it normally works. A lot of the times, they get coerced into fucking sleeping with all these guys, or they get to the point where they get so intoxicated that they end up sleeping with all these guys, right? Now, I've been in a situation, and this is why I said I have not only been exposed to this shit, but also partially an associate to this shit, because let's not get it twisted. I did not partake in any trains, but I also didn't stop it, right? So that's why I know I share some fucking guilt in some of this shit. And I've been in situations where they were wild, and still I did nothing. How can I say this shit? If you tried to stop something like that, you were looked at crazy. You were looked at like you were gay. They were talking mad crazy wild shit about you. You were probably getting into a fight because everybody's just trying to have sex, bust a nut, and it's just not cool. I don't even like, come on. Why do I want to be number 19 on the list of 20 dudes trying to fuck? Where does that make sense, right? Now, another situation I had was this girl was willing to jump off. She was willing to sleep with everybody except for me, right? So there was like a whole 8 lineup. And the whole thing was, this is what they told me at the time. They was like, yo, you're number 5. First of all, what? She just said she didn't want to sleep with me. You're number 5. The lights are going to be off. You should just sneak in, get your nut off, and then leave, right? That didn't sit comfortably with me well. First of all, I'm trying to be number 1 with every chick I fucking sleep with. I'm not trying to be number fucking 5 or 6 on the fucking train list. But morally, I just couldn't take part in any of that shit. It was just nasty to me. I don't know how guys do that shit. That shit just wasn't for me. And me tricking some girl into sleeping with me, it was just wild. And I knew the fucking doors that could open. Because while we're doing all this shit, we're hearing stories, but we're not fucking grasping what's going on. Which was, a lot of girls were fucking filing their reports. They were going back to school. And now, let me clear this up. Guys talk about everything. So we ran a train on a girl, right? The next day in school, you know what we're doing? Yeah, we all fucked that girl. So what position does that put that girl in? She looks like the school slut. Her reputation's forever changed. It's only a matter of time till her parents hear it. It's just basically semi-over for that person. Now, when your world starts crashing like that, it's gonna kind of sound like I'm fucking victim blaming. But when your world starts crashing like that, you do the next best thing, which you think is the best thing for you. And then they go back to school, they go talk to the superintendent, they talk to the principal, and they claim rape. Whether it was or not, for half of those cases, I can't even tell you. But to avoid themselves the embarrassment of dealing with that shit, a lot of girls will claim rape like they didn't give consent. But she should have never been in that position. This is the point where I'm saying, where it's kind of like, it sounds like I'm victim blaming, which I'm not gonna lie. This subject is like a rough subject. It's hard to unlearn a lot of the shit that's been programmed into me. So stay tuned for that part, because a lot of people don't believe in the exposure from Hollywood and music. But just stay tuned. Stay with me. Don't stop listening to this shit. Sexual coercion. Coercion? Jesus Christ. Basically, this is what we were talking about earlier, the workplace. A lot of males that have higher place positions, if a girl wants to come up, they'll hit her with that. Yo, if you want to raise, or you want to be at a higher title or job position, or you want a career in this field, then you gotta let me fuck. And that's the way it normally goes, right? That's a huge no-no. If you didn't know that was a no-no, then you're a fucking idiot. Now, I got through this part. Leaking nudes. This is a two-way street. Oh, wait. Before I get back to leaking nudes. Yeah, ladies, that coercion shit, works two ways. Because a lot of girls that be up there, they pull the same shit. They pull the same shit too. That's a two-way street. I know all about that shit. I need to start doing it so I could get a higher position at my job and stop fucking around. But yeah, moving on. I have two, maybe three iffy examples. Now, grinding may be a form of fucking rape culture. So is daggering. Daggering, I feel like, even though it's like a dance hall shit, I've seen videos of girls at the dance hall that didn't expect, I'm gonna sound fucked up for saying this. I saw this video, I think it was on World Latin Star. It's fucking big girl. Baby elephant size, right? I was gonna say water buffalo, but that's even more disrespectful. If she's listening to this, my bad. But yeah, this chick was big. Now, normally it's like one guy per girl, unless she's fucking wilding out and has two guys fucking daggering the shit out of her. But this chick had 5 dudes on her, and she wasn't with the shits. And what lets you know that she wasn't with the shits is because she was fucking pushing these hyenas the fuck off. Because that's what it looked like. It looked like fucking 5 hyenas attacking a fucking baby elephant. But she wasn't with the shits. And when she wasn't with the shits, they started ripping her clothes off. Now, this is all on camera. Hopefully, she filed a complaint. She did some shit. If not, she's wild for that. And she'll probably never try to go back to a dance hall to be placed in that position again. But, yeah. Same thing with grinding. Ever been in the club? Girl's dancing by herself. And you get the bright idea to fucking walk up to her, right behind her, put your crotch right on her ass so she could dance on you. Yeah, that's not good either, guys. Especially, that's that no consent shit we were just talking about. She might be with it, she might not be with it. She might say yeah, she might throw that drink in your face, or she might pull out a box cutter and cut you. It's all well deserved, if you ask me. Because imagine you're at the fucking bar, you're fucking doing your little two-step, and somebody comes behind you and puts their meat between your butt cheeks, fellas. You're not gonna like that shit. Imagine triple OG fucking walking up behind you and hitting you with the matumbo saying, no, that ass is mine. Yeah, you're not gonna appreciate that shit. That's why I kind of say it's kind of iffy, because you know the setting, but not everybody's down with that setting. Now, here's one that might get me in trouble. Oh, no, before I get to that. Getting girls intoxicated. That's another thing, right? Now, I know girls go to the club to get intoxicated. I know that shit. I know that much. But if you're fucking giving her drinks to the point where she can't talk or stand, and you have the balls to consider to take her home, yeah, you're part of the problem too, fam. You don't get a pass from that shit either. Yeah, but next topic would be wedging. Now, I never thought about giving somebody a wedgie and thinking of it as sexual assault or just assault in general, because I was just taught that if you don't like a motherfucker, you just wedgie somebody like it's nothing. Fuck them, fuck how they feel. And I never put 2 and 2 together to think that, hey, that might be fucking rape culture. That might be a real charge. That somebody hearing this shit that I wedgie could probably fucking press charges on me right now. And I couldn't even defend myself, because what's my defense in the courtroom? Oh, I ain't like him, Your Honor. He was there. And I just wedged him. Just to the point where his underwear went to his head. They're gonna fucking lock me up and throw away the key. Or the bullshit excuse I can use is, his pants were sagging, so I thought I'd fucking fix it for him. That's not gonna get me out of the fucking woods yet. But yeah, wedging might be considered fucking sexual assault, which is a part of rape culture. Now we're gonna get to this Hollywood shit, right? This all became a big thing the last 2 weeks because of the accusations of Hollywood. Now, this all started, it stemmed from directors like Harvey Weinstein to comedians like Bill Cosby, Louis C.K. So it brought me back to movies and TV shows I watched, and that fucking go along with this subject, right? Now, all the names I just listed. Oh, I forgot to list Kevin Spacey, right? All the names I just listed, including Kevin Spacey, have used their name and their power to abuse people, to sexual coerce people, just to get their way. And then we have a victim, Corey Haim. If you know who Corey Haim is, then you watched License to Drive, you've watched The Goonies, you've watched, shit. What's that movie with all those weird-ass vampires? The Lost Boys. LB fam? Yeah. He was a victim of that shit. He said he was fucking sexually molested at a young age. Because he was sexually molested at a young age, he assumed that he liked guys, which wasn't the case later on, or it could be the case. He kind of took that to the grave with him. He didn't kill himself, but he just had pneumonia. That's what I've read. But yeah, he says when he was a young childhood actor, him and this other kid, I forgot the other guy's name, he was in all the same movies with him. They were being sexually assaulted, they was being molested, they were being fucking anally penetrated, and it was just fucking wild, which led them to do drugs and do all kinds of other crazy shit, which led them down to a fucking spiral path. Oh yeah, he also named Charlie Sheen, but who didn't see that coming? Now, this is Hollywood shit. Life imitates reality, right? Or is it vice versa? Reality imitates life? Because these are a list of movies that I came up with that kind of like influence rape culture. Now, I'm 30 years old. I think I seen kids when I was in junior high school. Not junior high school. When did I see kids? It might have been elementary or junior high school. If it was elementary, then it was like the 5th grade. No, it was junior high school. I'm bugging. 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, I saw kids. Kids basically taught kids, people like me at that time, to be careful where I stick my dick, right? Now, there's this scene in Kids. Well, I think every woman in that movie was fucking sexually assaulted. But there's one scene that resonates with everybody, and it's the scene at the end where Shorty's passed out and he fucks, right? Now, while we were watching the movie, the girl that was passed out, we knew she had AIDS, right? So he didn't know of course, that person's not gonna know that girl had AIDS. He just fucking went for it. Now, we all took away the wrong thing, or at least I took away the wrong thing. Because when he fucked, at that time when I saw that shit, I didn't think, yo, he raped that girl. I thought, yo, he got AIDS. His life is over. I didn't even take into account what that girl's been through. And that just shows you how far this brainwashing has taken place. Recently, Horrible Bosses. The men are viewed as weak. Men are viewed as weak when we deny sex. When we turn down sex, we are viewed as weak. And Horrible Bosses kind of like influenced that. Because the dental assistant, which was a fucking... What was he again? Oh, he was on that fucking list. A sex offender. He was on a sex offender list for pissing in the park, right? So that's why he couldn't get a job. So his boss was basically... I'm explaining like people haven't seen Horrible Bosses, but I'm pretty sure they have. In case you didn't. He's basically being fucking bullied by his boss so she could sleep with him. She's been trying to sleep with him for a year. She does wild shit. Jennifer Aniston looked good in that movie. I don't know. I may have not been that strong. But yeah, she was wild. But that also that also kind of made you think that men were weak. Like why wouldn't you fuck her? That's like the character had Jennifer Aniston's body. It wasn't Jennifer Aniston, but the fucking character was fucking bad, right? If that just threw you off, my bad. But it was just there like, you're basically teaching us that women are entitled to dick all the time. Which, if they ask for it, we should give it to them, which isn't the case, fellas. Even though I don't really know guys that turn down ass like that. So I'm not in a position to judge. But as I was stating earlier, I feel like I'm rambling. That yeah, if guys turn down pussy from like a high-end chick that looks bad, we are looked upon as inferior and possibly gay. Not that there's anything wrong with being gay. Please don't boycott me. All right, nerds. Nerds touched upon that running a train shit, because there's a scene where dude's wearing a disguise that matches the same outfit as her man, and he starts eating her out, and then he goes to fuck once there's kind of a little bit of consent there, not the eating out part, but the fucking part, because once he started eating her out and he took off his helmet and she saw everything and she was cool with that part. But yo, you can't do that nowadays. If you fucking randomly think that you could just sneak into some girl's fucking bed or whatever and just start randomly eating her out and trying to fuck, you're in for a fucking surprise there. You're gonna be the next fucking episode on SVU. And the way I kind of like, the way it kind of resonated with me was, it brought me back to that fucking house where that guy was like, yo, you're number 5. So when the lights are off, you just run in there, do your thing. And that's basically what happened in that scene. Now, if you're like, yo, these are movies, a lot of them are old, some of them are new. I got something a little bit older. Looney Tunes. Pepe La Motherfucking Pew. Sexual harassment pouring out of his pores. He was trying to fucking sleep with that cat. He was literally trying to get that pussy, right? He would like grab her up, try to yoke her up, try to get her to drink wine, fucking wine and dine her with none of her permission, even though she couldn't fucking talk. Her body language is off. She was like, no, what are you doing? So, yeah. That's cartoons teaching us shit. And cartoons taught us a lot of extra shit. Like, it's cool to shoot somebody in the face and not give a shit. They taught us that it's funny. So that's a whole other thing. Sleeping Beauty is another one. No consent there either. This bitch was knocked out sleeping, basically dead. And somebody said, hey, you know what you should do? You should go kiss her. See if anything happens. I feel like there was more to that backstory, but Disney wanted to keep it like short and PG. Now, Cruel Intentions. Cruel Intentions was like sexual coercion, sexual manipulation. She didn't like this girl's power, so she decided to take her down and do all kinds of wild shit. American Pie. Now, when we first saw American Pie, that shit was wild. That's another movie I didn't put two and two together, that they were recording a girl that she had no clue, and then she started to masturbate. And then it turned into a full fucking sex scene. It wasn't really a sex scene. It was just embarrassment. But yeah, American Pie is on that list too. I also have Hitch. Now, if you're going Hitch, how can Hitch be about rape culture and be about this? And how can Hitch be wrong? It's such a comedy. Kevin Spacey's fat ass isn't really fucking no fucking model chick. Think about it. Hitch is about tricking girls into liking you, or giving the supposed good guy that shot, right? But be honest. Well, I just put up something on my Cool J page, which kind of fucks me up if you look back to it. Anybody references, fuck you. But it basically said, I don't care that you faked the orgasm because I faked everything it took to get here. That's Hitch. I'm faking everything it takes to get here. Now, the person that you meet isn't necessarily the person that I am. So I'm just putting on like a mask for you to know, for you to think and let your guards down. And once I'm in there, whether it be 1 month, 2 months, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, I'm already in there. There's not shit you can do. Unless you could break up with me, which would be another fucking thing. But moving on. Now we're going to music. Now, I don't listen to all genres of music, so it hurts me to do this part. Commenters, if you know some fucking offensive rape culture music, please make some comments to help me out here. The only thing I can think about is Baby It's Cold Outside, because that girl's trying to leave, but he's still trying to fuck. When was that recorded? Like 30s, 40s, 50s? Yeah. When rape wasn't even considered a thing yet. But that's the only song I could think of. But sadly, hip-hop has filled this fucking spot for me, which is gonna pay me to do. Here are some lyrics that it hurts me to do. The first one is Eminem. Slut, you think I don't know. I gotta get into M mode. Alright, Slut, you won't, Slut, you think I won't choke no hoe to the vocal cords, don't work in the throat no more? That song's called I'ma Kill You. Next one is, you ain't gonna let me fuck you, and I feel you. You gonna suck my dick or I'ma kill you. Relax. Yo, chill. That's that Chief Keef motherfucker that has... You know what? I don't expect him to have a choke because he always has an AK-47. So, women, you should kind of be aware of this motherfucker because that's one of his lines. Now, another one is from... I don't know. This one's a little bit tricky. It's from the JADA. And I know there's more hip-hop lines, but this one really stuck out. And this might be consent if you kind of think about it, or it might not be. It's damn near 4 in the morning. Ain't shit to discuss. Till you ask, which dick you gonna suck? That's Jadakiss. Jada, why would you give me this fucking ammunition? And the classic one that everybody brings up is Ain't No Fun If the Homies Can't Have None from Snoop Dogg, which is redone by Max B. And he did American Slaughter, and he did this Ain't No Fun shit too, and that was like 1,000 times worse. But it just basically encouraged rape culture and shit like that, and basically degrading women to a crazy fucking extent. Like calling her cum lips is wild. She did you a service and gave you head, and then you're gonna go on the track and call her cum lips or cum dumpster or superhead because she gave the whole superhead, even the superhead. Or blockhead. I knew this bitch named Blockhead who gave the whole blockhead. That's why she got a blockhead. You know, these fucking lines is crazy. But hip hop, yeah. That shit hurt to do. But yeah, I really don't know any other genres. I'm pretty sure there's multiple genres like that, but those are the ones that I came up with so far that I found on the internet that popped up right away. Now, this is me coming to a closure. This one went pretty long. I guess I did have a lot to say on this topic, which I wish I could have went into depth because I know I could turn this into a 3-hour conversation if I had some back and forth. I'm going to try to work on getting us some more fucking people to talk with on this podcast. I really want a co-host because it'll make life more easier instead of me doing this all by myself. But let's see, fingers crossed. Now, closing off rape culture. It's something we have to unlearn. Like, this shit is wild. It's so norm. And girls think it's the norm too. That's the wild part. Because if some shit like that happens to you and you don't report on it or don't say anything, don't move on it, you're leaving the door open for it to happen to other people. And it's sad that we live in a culture where we tell women not to get raped. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. But yeah, we live in a society, we live in a time where we tell women not to get raped, but we don't tell men not to rape. And that's even fucking wilder. Why wouldn't you teach men that it's not okay not to do this? Even though, why should you have to teach men that it's not okay to do this? Where does that morally feel correct to you? That if she says no, I'm gonna take it anyway. Like, that's that self-entitlement bullshit that a lot of people grew up on, right? This shit was all... Well, if you grew up around my time, I'm pretty sure it was worse when I was for older people. This shit was basically spoon-fed to us. So it's up to us, my generation and the newer generation, not to bring this shit to the next generation, right? Because it's just a slippery slope. It's a downfall. It's no good. It's kind of like racism. Like, racism started off so early, but it's still fucking coming down the line, trickling. And it's not because people are born this way. It's because it's being taught. It's being taught that this is all right and that this is okay. And it's really not. Like, we should just be able to, like, be decent human beings about this shit. If a girl doesn't want to talk to you, yo, there's other fish in the sea. Ladies, if a guy doesn't want to talk to you, don't fucking date rapists. Speaking about music, I totally forgot that you ain't even know what song. That shit is about doing a Bill Cosby and putting a Molly in somebody's drink just to fuck with them. That's unacceptable. That's in our music. That's recently in our music. Maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. everything else is like, yo, we're being taught this shit, and we really shouldn't be teaching this shit. We should be doing way better. You don't want our, like, just imagine, like, I wouldn't want my kids, and I know you don't want your kids to be placed in a situation like that. Like, imagine your kid's at a fraternity and he gets invited to this party and they fucking trick him, or he gets to the point where he thinks something like sleeping with a girl that's totally intoxicated is okay. Yeah, that's a bad predicament. That's a bad move. And it's just ruined lives. Like, I don't know. That's how I feel in the subject. It's a crazy subject. I know this is more serious than I normally do. My friend Samantha told me that this is not my normal bit that I normally do. I normally try to do comedy. And I did try to sneak in like a little jokes in here too, but it's seriously not a laughing matter. And I'll get back to my regular scheduled programming, because I think the next one that I'm going to drop is called Paycheck to Paycheck. Tune in for that one. That one is just fucking reckless. But yeah, if you didn't know about rape culture or didn't want to know about rape culture and you heard this and you walk away with something from this, it's truly appreciated. Thank you for listening. I am on my Cool J, and this has been, you know what, I don't want to say, but this podcast is going to be called Ill Considered, but I'm really considering it now. That's all I got to say. Peace.